Cameron.
Podcast. A show about nothing and everything.
Hello,
Oh, man. Ready for action, rider, sir?
Don't miss those days at all.
Oh, I'm in the...
Rubble on the double.
I liked Marshall.
He's always found different ways to
He
fall
did.
into that lookout
It's true.
tower. Is that a fan?
I'll turn that off.
I was like, what am I hearing?
Off to a great start. Cameron's not here. He's camping. It's raining.
Yeah.
May he burn his fingertips on a Coleman stove.
Oh, man. So, talking to him, and obviously he's not here this episode. He informed me that he has a list in all capital letters of things and stories for us on the next podcast of all the things that have gone wrong on their camping trip. They got this new Trent trailer, and he was like sending me pictures of parts that didn't work on it and stuff. So it should be good.
That's great. I can't wait for March to come so we can hear it. That's awesome.
Can't wait to hear how he survived the woods of Jamaica.
Between he's got camping stories, us all getting busier and more COVID breaks and then not breaks, and then we're open and then we're closed and then we're open. It might be June or July before we get to hear his camping stories from 2021.
It's true.
So who knows? Wow.
Yep. So he's not here. How are we going to trash him for the next...
It really
The
is.
next
It
hour?
really is open season because he can't even interrupt
Can't
you.
even defend himself.
I could get all my Bigfoot stuff in now. He can't say anything.
Yeah. Or is Cameron actually here?
I was not ready for that.
I didn't tell you about it.
Called me Canadian sweater. Monza.
Like
You should just set that as your whenever you get a text from him. Monza.
Monza.
Next time from him.
You'll remember my name.
Oh man.
He hasn't left us.
This is actually my favorite one, though.
Oh. Oh, Cameron, we miss you, buddy. Thought of you this morning when I got up to drive down here, and there was a bunch of dog hair on my pant leg. I had to swipe it off, and as I watched all the hair hit the floor, I was like, "Oh, Cameron."
I hope all is going well and there's no misadventures with any wildlife.
Oh man.
I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, one of the
No
stories.
skunks coming through your campsite or anything.
You know, Gary, it's funny you mentioned that. I was debating whether to tell you or just like put it in the episode as a joke. But do you remember that song? I auto-tuned Cameron telling that
Yep.
story. I'll put that in at like the end of this episode and kind of close this out. In honor of his absence. Well, just want to take a second and say thanks a lot, Stu, for letting me throw all my money away at 506 Breaks. I say that in love, Stu. I love the group. I just get so passionate. I get so into it. You only have like 5 seconds to like get your spot before it's filled. You know?
And then you don't think about it
Yeah.
because it's like if I don't do it right now, it will fill, and
See-
then you're left filled with regret.
Yes. Yep. But you might remember us talking a few episodes ago about 506 Breaks. Like we did a spot for them. Well, I got into it because like, chances to win signed hockey stuff. And yeah, now I can't get out of it. Yeah. So anyway, Stu, if you're listening, man, it's a great thing you got going. I got to try to like be faster because like as soon as he posts like, oh, here's the $5 headliner, you're like before he's even tagged you, it's filled.
Oh yeah. You have the moment of should I play this one? Oh, never mind. And it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome though. It's fun.
Yeah, and it's good. They just like to see. I know. Yeah, they like to see other people's collections grow. Like when someone wins something, they're legitimately all happy for each other. Like, oh, good for you. Yeah, like it's.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good time.
Yeah. But yeah. No, it's
hockey season starting up too.
Yeah. We're just admiring Gary's collection here on the wall. Let's get
fairly minor compared to other people here.
Yeah, but Gary, are all these jerseys from China? Like mine. Oh, man.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
They were all acquired through Cameron's comrades.
We'll check to see later if we have any little pins showing up in Russia for where our listeners are from. Yeah.
Like hope someday we become big enough that we actually have like a little fan group and we'll just call it Cameron's Comrades.
I feel like I need to make something for that now.
Yeah.
Zebra cakes.
Thanks, Cam. Cam approves.
Oh, I fully blame Cameron for my freshman 15 when I went to university. I moved into that apartment and Katie and Cameron or whatever, they're in like the next building over, but the buildings are all attached, right? So you can walk through the basement and go up to the next building. And every Monday night, he had an unopened box of zebra cakes and they made homemade pizza and way too much homemade pizza for 3 people, right? Zebra cakes.
Yeah. I remember showing up to watch Raw there once. They're like, want some zebra cakes? I was like, what is a zebra
What is
cake?
a zebra cake?
Anyone who knows Cameron. Anyone who knows Cameron has a story that starts with, I went over to his place to watch Raw. We should...
This feels like we're eulogizing him.
I was just going to say, he's not dead. We should be clear. Cameron has not died.
You remember when?
Oh, I missed that about Cameron. Man.
It's true. We're acting like it.
It's true, man.
I'll edit them into the logo and everything. We'll just scrub them from the internet altogether.
Episode 25. Rest in peace, Cameron.
Cameron's Comrades isn't a fan group, it's a memorial page.
And whether he is dead or alive, he would post in it the same amount.
I can't laugh too hard at that. I fall into the same boat.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh, boys. So I don't know if these are up on super current news, but as a teacher, I found
Germany.
this one. It's not Florida or Germany.
Okay.
I don't know if I find this, you guys will find this humorous too, but as a teacher, this caught my attention. So, there was, a high school in Boston didn't have a bus to transport students. So they had to rent a bus, and the only bus they could get, unbeknownst to the person who booked it. I'll read you the headline. You ready? Boston High School forced to use party bus with stripper poles for field trip.
Oh, man.
Some crazy times we're living in. After the original, more traditional school bus fell through, teachers at the Bourque Charter School were forced to improvise. A group of high school students in Massachusetts had to ride on a party bus complete with a stripper pole and neon lights during a recent field trip. An experience, their teacher said, highlights problems with the education system.
Like, I want to know how that happened. Like, did they it was who they were renting the bus from. They're like, well, listen, all of our regular buses.
Well, they were supposed to have a real bus. Like it is a funny story, but there's actually a real bus shortage, and it speaks to the major flaws in our education system. He said, adding that the field trip was a success, but no. I just picture like little Johnny coming home, and how was your trip to the Natural History Museum today?
Yeah.
We met a girl named Candy. Like, districts across the nation are struggling to hire even enough drivers to shuttle kids to school. Oh yeah, there's a whole...
No, but you know what I mean? Like somewhere along the line, there was someone who had to break the news. Like, yeah, by the way...
Oh yeah,
we don't have that bus. The only one we have left is for adult entertainment.
we can get one from Danny's Good Times LLC.
But then they take it. They take the bus.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. And there was some guy who would be like, yeah, no, that'll have to work.
Like all white bus. You guys know what I mean with like the wall seating? Couple stripper poles in the middle of the bus, and then it's lit with neon lights with like all the windows are tinted so that it's dark in there. And this is how they drove to their field
Disco
trip.
balls.
Like we're worried about like sanitizing for COVID right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on that bus.
That was my next question is how well was it cleaned?
Oh, let's not even think of the...
Man.
I can picture the commercial now. The poor children.
I'm sure the parents were
I
thrilled.
am the ruler of Uranus.
Good one, Cam.
Wow. That's amazing.
Oh.
I'm just not even sure how that happens in today's day and age.
I don't either.
I don't even understand that. Like
Jokes aside.
that's what I'm saying. It's
There's
like
about 25 points in between ordering the bus and getting on the bus where you could change your mind.
I know, right? No
Like
one's
maybe this field trip shouldn't happen. Maybe this isn't just meant to be.
Were the kids walking on the bus and someone was like, wow, we shouldn't have done this. I don't know.
Yeah, but then the vice principal says, oh yeah, but like the field trip was a great success.
I mean, really, those buses are quite the engineering marvel.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of room for activities on them and you
A
know.
lot more room for activities. There's so much room
Yeah.
for activities. Oh my land.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of news since the last time we talked.
There's a liberal minority government now. Do people have opinions on that?
Was there an election here?
It's funny. It feels like nothing has really changed. I don't think there was.
Yeah.
Because it feels the exact same as before. That's just how it feels.
Yep.
I don't want to get all conspiratorial, but we all know the
Oh, yes,
government's
you
not
do.
in charge anyway. We know who's in charge.
I am the ruler of Uranus.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I am the ruler of Uranus.
My phone went and doing the switch.
It was a
over.
solid triangle.
Normally, I have this thing hooked up to a cable, so I don't have to change.
That will
the-
need sound effects. Big drum roll, just for nothing. And then it eventually comes in. You can even edit to make the stall sound longer. Like
Yeah, and then there'll be nothing, and then it'll be the fox like dun, 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 dun.
crickets chirping and everything.
Oh man.
Oh,
Wow.
gosh.
In a rare miscue, Gary misses his comedic timing.
Monza.
Oh, yeah. Some crazy times, though. But if you can have a sense of humor about any of it, there's some gold mines out there for laughter. Like just
Like-
some of the stuff.
This doesn't translate to a podcast, but like, did you see that video of Trudeau where he's trying to go down this step, but he doesn't realize how low it is, and he like stumbles,
Misses the step.
and he ends up in like a full embrace with
With
this
this woman.
random woman. I saw the TikTok on it, plays it back. Oh, it's hilarious. It's just like he's like this.
I feel like there should be a whole compilation of like him falling out of that kayak and him tripping down the stairs and
oh yeah. Oh, that's
him saying that he wouldn't call a pandemic election. Just a whole bunch of clips like that.
yeah.
Then the seats being the same. Do you remember that time? Do you remember that? What a prank that was.
the seat piece.
We should start a GoFundMe for $600 million so we can pull the same prank next year. It'd be hilarious.
That's a good use of money.
Oh man,
We should raise 6.
that stupid commercial. Whoever they got to do the voiceover of that political commercial, I think it was a conservative commercial, but she, like the woman that had voiced it over, almost sounds like Siri. It's like a mixture of Siri and Alexa, and the way she pronounces her words. Justin Trudeau said he didn't want to call it pandemic, like. It's like ingrained in my mind.
Man, they're even on. Did you listen to 31 Thoughts the last couple of weeks? There was like election commercials to start
In it?
off 30. Yeah. Yeah.
Now there's a sponsor, Elections Canada.
Oh man,
Yeah. Man.
we will have made it then.
Oh, man. I would put 5 of them in this one. I don't care who they're for.
The Communist Party of Canada. If you're listening.
Justin Trudeau said
Cameron's
he didn't
comrades.
want to call it pandemic election. Cameron's comrades. New political party. Cameron's comrades. Cameron's comrades. Their color can be purple. Oh wait, that's taken.
They really are some of the worst commercials. It's so
They're just
funny.
bad, and they're so like. I will say,
It's the
as
worst
time goes
acting.
on, it's the worst acting. But if you go back in history, like the commercials didn't used to appear like that. I feel like it's an online world and social media, and people are more cynical now and critical of things. And it would be hard to write a political commercial now.
Like an
Back in the
actual-
day, you would just spitball clips of what actually happened in Parliament and whatever else, and
Yeah, that's
string them
true.
together and all. And now it's like people aren't even watching that, so it's a way you got to come up with stuff like
Yeah.
bad metaphors and horrible voiceovers. And
I mean, I will say the only like political commercial I can remember is the guy going, "Nice hair, though," from like this first
You know what?
time he was elected.
I'm at the point now that, you know what? Next election, I'm calling it right now. Challenge all the political parties. If you can make me laugh,
Isn't that how Trump got
Done.
in?
That's true. Yeah, but you know what? By that, I would have. Yeah, by that logic, I would have voted for him every time because I laughed a lot.
yeah.
I did a lot of laughing.
Oh man, brutal.
Yeah.
You said Cameron's comrades could be purple, which now has me thinking, no, Cameron's comrades wouldn't have a color. It would be like one of those kids' books that you feel, and it would just be fuzzy hair. So now I'm picturing a ballot that's all like touch and feel instead of printed colors.
Yeah, it's all.
So you get like one that's just kind of oily,
One of those
one
kids'
that's
books
pretty
where
rigid,
when you're learning texture.
one that smells like skunk.
one that's just like a push pin thumbtack thing that just
Oh,
stabs you
man.
when you touch it.
Their campaign shirts would all be sweaters. They'd just all be like woolly sweaters. And it would say
Shag
Canadian
carpet.
sweater. That'd feel like shag carpet. Cameron gets up to do his concession speech with his shirt off. Nobody knows.
His whole platform is how Bigfoot is not real. Oh man.
Because oh man.
For his way to his victory speech is just going downhill on a slip and slide covered in oil. Comes up to the podium just soaked in baby oil.
Delivers a passionate political message.
I just picture the newsreel now. I got to edit something together for that. We're here to speak to Cameron's comrades candidate, Cameron Hare. He's now leaving the tent and coming over to, he's rolling up a sleeping bag and now approaching the microphone. No, he's making a stop near the Coleman stove first.
Yeah. All those commercials are just clips from like 1970s Formula One races.
Oh, man.
That guy has a lot of VHS of Formula One races.
A lot of VHSs of Formula One races.
Just to reiterate, in case you're just tuning in, he did not die. He's just not here.
But if you could edit in a clip of Sarah McLachlan singing I Will Remember You.
I could do that. I think we'd probably have to pay like, $1,000 or something.
That's for educational purposes.
The CCs will help us fund that.
Can just drop in your own similar musical bed.
That's true. Yeah, I'll do a cover of it. Me singing it.
Got to tell you, though, all the jokes aside about him camping, you know where there's not COVID? In the woods.
True. Yeah.
So.
True.
Hey, doesn't that spread through like minks and ferrets and
Does it really?
wolves and spiders?
Spiders. Man, I have to check spiders around there, get little masks for them. Here, boys, put this on. Don't be taking that off. 20 of you is only in a group, eh?
You just start your own mask manufacturing company from spider webs.
Unreal.
Yeah.
In COVID news, though, has been a woman charged already for traveling with a fake vaccine card. And she got busted because she spelled Moderna wrong.
Oh. Now, in all fairness, I feel like anyone at these centers could spell Moderna wrong.
Okay, but it's not handwritten.
What do you mean?
Like her COVID card.
Oh, the card.
That she photoshopped.
Oh.
Like I got this card as proof of I got Moderna, but spelt it M-A-D.
Yeah.
Moderna.
Imagine.
Right.
I was picturing the handwritten one. I just have a picture of that on my phone.
That's all I got too. I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, an unvaccinated woman's attempt to enjoy a Hawaiian vacation unfettered by the state's 10-day quarantine mandate was thwarted by bad spelling.
That's funny.
Arrested Saturday at International Airport in Honolulu on the misdemeanor charge of suspicion of falsified vaccination documents. Her bail is set at $2,000.
Like, yeah, this is a thing. What kind of precedent do we set for this? Like, what is the level of punishment for that? We don't have. That's not a typical like. You know what I mean?
That's a lot of money. You know what I mean? $2,000.
No, yeah, but like I just mean like I just never thought of. You can think of crimes for things and think of how much like bail might be. What sentences might be, but really for that, like, what is it? You know?
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Like.
And it's a weird one too, because it's not a fine.
Like
it's bail.
Electric chair.
That's not a fine. If it's a fine, we're still talking like that's expensive. That's an expensive fine.
Yeah.
This isn't a fine. This is to get out.
Yeah.
Right? Like
death row.
Death row.
What a brother no.
What's that clip of Fred Arneson doing the what is it's like you mix ketchup and mustard straight to jail. You ever see that? Oh,
that's right. I forgot that one.
It's a whole bunch of random stuff like jaywalking straight to jail.
He's pretending he's a dictator from somewhere.
Yeah, I forget which one it is.
In your country, in my country.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What if you jail? Oh, straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Yeah.
What if you mix mustard and ketchup? Oh no, never. Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Oh man, Saturday night. Norm Macdonald, eh?
Oh man.
Yeah, that one.
I went down a big Norm Macdonald rabbit hole after that. I watched so many like.
Well, and
unfortunately, you can't repeat a lot of them.
Yeah. I think underrated for.
The one that got me was I saw his roast of Bob Saget. Did you see that? I know where you everyone assumes what that's going to be like, right? So his thing was, I think Bill Burr was talking about him in an interview, and he's like, a lot of people say they don't care, But like, really, you have to care a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll do whatever. And he's like, Norm did not care. Didn't. He was the best deadpan. You could tell him, Norm, we want you to do, clean jokes or whatever. And he would, it could be a thing for kids. And he would go up and tell dirty jokes because, like, you're not going to tell me what to do. And he was the only guy that did that. Anyway, the roast of Bob Saget, I think they he's quite crude and the roasts can get kind of crude, but they told him, like, don't get too dirty with it. I mean, it's Bob Saget. People are probably going to do dirty jokes because that's what his comedy was. So for like, the video is 8.5 minutes. He has cards. They're all jokes from like this like 1920s comedy book. And it was like, it's like, I went to a baseball game one time with Bob, and he came toting a double-barrel shotgun. You remember that, Bob? And he turns around and looks at him. And he's like, yeah, it's because the Lions were playing the Tigers. And just deadpan stares the audience. The audience is like doing nothing.
And this is him doing this because they told him to lay
Yes.
off.
And he like stares, like he just stares a hole. Like you would think like cringe, like super awkward, stares a hole, changes the cards. And he's like, there was a, forget who it was. I don't know who it was. It was an older woman that was in the group of comedians there. He's like, I'm glad to see so-and-so here. She probably drives an old car. It probably wouldn't make it over the hill like she is. And it's that awkward. And like stares at the crowd, changes cards for 8.5 minutes. And like I'm dying laughing because if you know what he's doing,
It's funny.
it's so funny. But at the time, like everyone's just like confused and like most people like you gotta have a lot of like to do that. Like, oh, it's just so funny. It's just these like super old school jokes. It's like,
but he didn't crack a lot either, though.
no, he didn't.
Like he would, like every once in a while, you'd see a half smile and he'd pull it back in. But like when he used to do the Burt Reynolds routine all the time,
oh yeah, like just incredible deadpan.
and everyone like the guest host, everyone's like laughing around him, and he just does not.
no, he's
You know what I mean?
like
Turd Ferguson.
yeah.
Yeah, it's your opinion. And like people around him are like dying laughing, and he's just like, yeah, no. Chomping on his gum, doing the whole like, no, I'm Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, I think his comedy is like over a lot of people's heads, but it's so deadpan. It's just like you have to be so committed to that in order for it to not, like you have to show zero fear. You show any amount of fear with that, it's like the game is up. But like anyway,
I did watch an interview with him. It was fairly recent, but someone ran into him, and I think it was like TMZ with him at an airport or something. And he said the reason why to this day, he said he wishes more people embrace their SNL roots. He said, because you got to understand, and he said not to bash a show, but he said in 10 years, people are going to ask, what was Everybody Loves Raymond? They're not going to remember.
yeah,
It was a sitcom. He said, but if you were a lasting cast member on SNL, he said, that's going to live forever.
yeah,
Because people flash back to SNL still on TV. It might always be on TV, and you were on SNL, right?
yeah.
And I was like, oh, I never thought of it that way. That's true. Like it's kind of, people do the best ofs and all this stuff. And it's
You kind of get immortalized.
Yeah, you kind of get immortalized on SNL if you're.
Well, him especially because he was the first Weekend Update guy, I think. Didn't they start
Was he the
that with
first?
him?
He was there. That was
I thought he did it like before everyone else got into it. I thought he was the guy.
or was it Dennis Miller? And he was the second.
Oh, is that right?
Dennis
'Cause-
Miller. I don't know who was first. I honestly don't know who was first, him or Dennis
Yeah.
Miller, but I feel like
I
Dennis
know
Miller
that his time ended at the OJ stuff.
I was just gonna say, man, and like he was relentless on the OJ joke. And apparently, the story behind that is the NBC executive was a friend of OJ's, and like told him to lay off the OJ jokes or he'd be fired. So he just did more of
Double
them.
down.
Oh,
Oh yeah, and like really like brutal. Oh man, yeah, he's a special cat that way. And then like you look into him, and his both of his parents. He was born in like Quebec City.
yeah.
I didn't realize. Like I knew he was Canadian, but like I wouldn't have guessed born in Quebec City.
His
Like
brother writes for CBC.
yeah, I
Yeah.
found that out too. Yeah,
Habs fan, isn't he? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, oh man.
He had a podcast out like 5 or 6 years ago, and it only lasted for like, I don't know if it was even on for a full year, but it was hilarious too, because it was like that dry humor, but in a podcast, everything deadpan. And he'd have guests on, and he'd give them like those 1920 style jokes and make them read them.
Oh gosh, I do think Jeremy's right. It's sometimes just over people's heads.
Oh yeah, you gotta understand like what he's about, or else he wouldn't be funny. But was it Norm Macdonald live?
Could have been,
Because I've seen
it
like
was like
clips
blue
of-
and white. The
Okay.
picture.
I went down the rabbit hole on Manifest.
Oh really?
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of shows actually, but I took a few days off over the summer there and I would, I was like, I should just watch something stupid. That was at like the top of the list. Used to be on NBC. I'm like, oh, plane takes off, lands 5.5 years later. I'm in. That's weird. I like it.
Amanda's watched that, and she's told me I need to watch it, and I just don't. I don't know why I couldn't pull the
It's,
trigger on it. Because to be fair, I didn't even give it 5 minutes of a chance. I literally just didn't watch it. Like,
Well, it's the type of show, if you only give it a few minutes, it'll be completely turned off.
yeah.
Because it's a lot of typical acting. It's like, it's typical characters. Like just going like, one guy's got his hands on his hips and he's like, we got to get down there and figure that out. And there's another person go, but we can't do that because so-and-so is going to know. And yeah, but it's important because we have to save the blah, blah, blah.
See,
It's like,
already I can't.
no, and
If
I'm
I
warning
wanted
you,
that, I'd watch Passions reruns. You know what I mean?
it's a lot of that, especially like in the middle in season 2. It just kind of it's like they're constantly solving these problems and you're like, yeah, so are we gonna figure out what's going on here, or are we just gonna keep doing these little side missions, or is this going anywhere?
Okay, that's how I feel about Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And I'm this far in that I just need to see it to the end now.
That's how I got with Manifest.
And like, not to spoil anything for anybody, this won't spoil anything, but at some point, is nobody concerned about a cure here? Or like, is there really no, like, just nothing? There's nothing. It's just, do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I gave up on that one a long time ago.
Yeah. A few people
I
have.
never even started that one. I think I watched one episode and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
But it gets insanely good.
Yeah.
And like, you need to see, but then it's like the without, I don't know. It starts to feel like more of the same.
Yeah. That's
like
it.
it's at first this was new,
Yes.
but now you're repeating yourself.
Exactly. It's the same thing as like anything. It's like you've got permission to do a season with your concept.
Yep.
And
And
you
it was a new
clearly-
concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really cool. But then you're like, oh, this is actually going to work. We're going to do a season 2. Well, I've had a long time to come up with season 1. What do we do for season 2? Like, you know what I mean? Like, unless...
Well, in the first 3 seasons of that show, we're all very different from each other.
Oh, yeah?
It escalated, right? And like, they started out from humble beginnings. Like, there was still a lot of people alive in episode 1. And as you're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the apocalypse, right? Like, you're not establishing towns, or you're not,
Yeah.
because it just happened.
Right.
And then as you get moved out of spots, or now you're looking for a safe haven, now you're trying to set up your own little, because it's like, we need protection. But then after about season 3, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
how many?
Like that's about where I got.
Yeah, well, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Because after that, it's like, all right, so, whew, we got buy that rebel group. What's next? Another one, another rebel group.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I know a lot of people were into the graphic novels and kind of had an idea of what was
yeah.
coming or
but
what
they
could
veered
still
from
happen,
that a
and
bit
they still had stuff to look forward to.
because they knew like, what are they going to
Yeah.
do here and what are they going to do there. But
It's
Whereas
based
I
on a
didn't-
book?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
I
graphic.
didn't know
It's a
that.
series of graphic novels,
yeah,
comic books.
graphic novels.
yeah. There's a few shows like that, and if I'm being real honest, so like like, I'm a diehard wrestling fan. I haven't watched Raw in like 2 months.
I used to get excited watching it, but I feel like now I get that from hockey being a Leafs fan enough that I don't need it in wrestling.
I honestly, it's weird. I went through as a kid. I'm really bad. I guess that's a good point.
There's enough drama in the NHL for me right now to satisfy that side of things.
Yeah. Same boat. Like I'm almost back to like how pumped up about it I was as like when I was a kid, and I can't say that about wrestling. Same thing. Like I was super into like, I don't know. I just get all my sports stuff from hockey right now.
Yep. And I enjoy it. I enjoy F1 too. The behind the scenes stuff. There's a lot of drama behind the people if you follow it.
I got a kick out of something the other day though. I heard somebody talking about an F1 race. What was going on in the race on the weekend? And the other guy's like, "Hey, don't spoil next season of Drive to Survive."
Pretty much, eh?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going to watch the races. I want to watch Drive to Survive. Don't spoil that.
What a funny problem.
And man, watching this season, I'm pretty excited for next year's Drive to Survive.
Yes, it is going to be drama filled.
So if we talk about Verstappen and Hamilton, do we say spoiler alert?
I read a report a couple of days ago, and I read it out loud. Amanda's sitting there because she kind of don't know if she likes it or not, but she starts to know the drivers, right? Because she'll start to watch. She won't sit and necessarily watch a race with me, but she's hearing it kind of through osmosis. You know what I mean? Like it's and so Netflix is in negotiations to buy out all rights now to F1. So every race will be on Netflix.
They would be the broadcaster?
They'd be the broadcaster. They'd still have Drive to Survive. They had all the side shows.
Awesome.
Seriously?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like, I'm assuming the viewership for Drive to Survive must be, and then they did the Schumacher documentary. Yeah. Must be through the roof. And now it's like, okay, well, people watch this, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I tried to say someone at school, like, NASCAR in the States and does okay in Canada, does better in the States, gets great ratings. So great ratings on a Sunday for a NASCAR race was, guys, we pulled 5 million viewers.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal viewership at their peak, probably Daytona 500 or Winston Cup or whatever. That at their peak, right? 5 million viewers. They didn't get 5 million viewers in America for F1, but F1 pulled 20 million viewers worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you know what I mean? Like it's very...
We tend to think of the biggest things in the world being in the United States.
When in reality...
Really, like, it's funny how, like, things like football, not our football, European football, and, like, F1, it's the whole world, the rest of the world together is kind of...
is like watching that.
It's a band on a world tour versus a local act.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a perfect way to put it.
And the local act could be very, very popular here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But then it's... Oh, yeah.
That's so fascinating. Like, I kind of don't get wanting to do their own broadcast because it's going to be bad. It's going to suck. Just take the Sky F1. Just take they do incredible job.
If your buyout's the buyout and you're basically buying the whole team and everything, so it comes with Crofty and Martin Brundle and all these guys, and they just...
Where else are those guys going to go to work?
Yeah, well, fair enough. Well, I guess it would
be like Sportsnet's takeover of Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah, if you're saying they like take a lot of what Sky F1 has, or Sport, whatever they're called now.
It might be the same team and everything because their coverage is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Just take everybody except for Nico and let's...
Okay. Because, like, I don't know how big Sky is. I know it's the United Kingdom's biggest, like, sports,
The only thing about their coverage is every post interview after, Nico's half talking about himself. When he's sitting there on the bed, you know? Well, I remember a few years ago when I was his teammate, and it's like, just ask him a question.
I also love how
you got Daniel sitting here, you got Lando, just ask him a question.
Yeah.
I also love how at some tracks, it's the group at the track that's responsible for all the cameras and everything. Yeah. So every few races, you'll hear the announcers be like, "Well, I would love to see this blah 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 again. It would be really awesome if we could see blah 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 again." When in reality, they have no control over what gets fed in the cameras.
Oh, yeah. they have no say over. Well, they're not queuing in some tracks.
Some tracks.
In some tracks, it's like whatever because they have the truck, right?
Yeah.
So in some tracks, it's like
It's a
Crofty
separate
might
private.
say, if we can get a second look at and it pops right up. But then in other tracks, it's like, all right, so during the replay, but I guess we're not going to see that replay. Oh, yeah.
Monaco is one of them.
Monaco's one of them. Oh, would like to get a view from Vettel's cockpit on the... Oh, I guess we're watching Verstappen. Okay, well, we'll come back to...
Yeah, I've seen that before. But like, so you're saying Formula One, part of their deal with these different tracks is like the track is responsible for...
But different countries have different rules for employmentship, right? So like if you have to employ so many people from that country as part of the rule of...
I never thought
part of that makes sense to me, but like they're literally not queuing up the...
I just never
big accident on turn 3. I guess we're not throwing to there.
Like, I get that, but I would have thought like 50-50.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Ushers.
Like, yeah, we'll use all your we'll use all your cameramen and everything, but like you were throwing to our producer in the truck. Sorry. But no.
No.
Wow. That's got to be terrifying. They roll up with their mobile and they just got to get these feeds.
I cannot believe it's as good as it is.
Yeah,
depending on the track. And you can tell what tracks are okay.
Yeah.
Like Silverstone is always fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Monaco is not.
Well, I wonder how Sochi's
one of my favorite races of the year too, but not. It's pretty hit or miss there. Gosh, it's obvious which ones are okay. The Singapore Grand Prix is always good.
Yep.
Australian Grand Prix is always good coverage.
So you're saying there's a chance. So when they do the Sochi Grand Prix, it'll be like local
for sure.
Russian.
I think so.
Really?
I think so. She's one of them.
I don't know which ones are which.
The Russian Grand Prix.
Monaco.
That's going to be rigged. Mazepin's going to win that one.
Cars exploding left.
Daniel's half Italian.
Yeah.
Right. He wins the Italian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Lewis is British. Well, no, Lewis didn't win the British Grand Prix.
No, no.
Who won that?
Wasn't it? Was that Max's?
No, that's where he took Max out.
Oh no, that's right. He took
Max
that
out
was that
there.
race. Yeah, that's right too.
Oh, it's going to drive me nuts. Who won that?
Did there was one Bottas one there, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was. I remember looking at the stats, and it was like for the first time ever, an Italian won the Italian Grand Prix, a Brit won the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Max, Dutch, won the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Right, and now they're going into Russia, and it was like a picture of Mazepin, like, huh? Consistently last in every race. Like, is this his race?
Who won the
British one?
What other Brit could have won?
Did Lewis win?
He must have.
He must have.
Won.
I thought
he had a 10-second penalty
because
for
the only
crashing
other
him,
ones
but
are
maybe
like
he was leading by 30.
Lando and George didn't win, so
no,
like it's
exactly. They're the only other two. So,
gosh, yeah, interesting year for sure.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't realize that. I just thought they were super uncoordinated at Sky F1. Like they could never get these video directors
that's why you
figured out.
you have some races feel better than others.
Yeah.
Like it was, yeah. And it's one of those deals, like if there's no accidents, there's no nothing, and there's not a lot of drama, you'd never know.
Yeah.
Because what else do you have to throw to, right? But
I'm not sure our listeners really want us to talk this much F1, but I love that we're talking this much F1 while Cameron's not here.
right? Right?
I know, eh?
So can we talk about Spa while we're at it?
Take notes, Cam.
Just pours rain at Spa. So they basically go out and do one safety lap and say, no, it's raining too hard.
But then they
wait like 3 or 4 hours. They go out, they do another one.
They did 2 safety laps,
which
Gary.
is the minimum required to fulfill their contracts with all their...
And then that's
everybody.
That's the race.
That's the race.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
And you know who the sucker is that sat and watched the whole thing? This guy. 4.5 hours I sat in the couch editing on my laptop waiting for this.
3 safety car laps.
Yeah, but they've never delayed it like this. I've seen them call it. I've seen them say, we'll run it later. I've seen them say, in 2 hours later, we're going to try. And they throw to something else.
Man,
years ago, I've even seen, we're going to try for the fans. We're going to try to race tomorrow.
I was
qualified for a race because we did 3 laps. It's over.
I was picturing the Japanese Grand Prix probably like 10, 15 years ago where it was just pouring like a monsoon. And they didn't stop. They just drove behind the safety car the whole time. They did like 30 laps. Just driving around in this pond behind the safety car. So then, like, I was curious, like, Spa is like, well, why aren't they at least driving around behind the safety car doing a parade?
Yeah, do something.
Yeah.
And those fans, the thing it was because they've had no races, right?
Yeah.
Then they were allowed back, and then it rains like that. And there's was it 150,000 people outside with ponchos on in the pouring rain, and you did 3 laps in 4 hours.
And then they were like, "Yep,
Yeah, no,
see you next year."
Yeah, that qualifies as a race. Wow.
That just sucks. Like, that's one of my favorite tracks. It's like, it's always a good race.
Yep.
Ugh. Yep.
So, guys, real 90-degree turn here. McDonald's, see what I did there?
Yeah.
McDonald's is in the news again because a man.
Podcast.
Oh yeah, not a sponsor. A man didn't get his sauce for his chicken nuggets again, and had enough. So he called in a bomb threat to the restaurant. He didn't get his sweet and sour sauce.
There are better ways to go about this.
So he calls it a bomb threat. Oh.
Personally, I would go long-term planning at this with my anger, and I would start accumulating sweet and sour sauce packets and then sneak out one night and cover the entire drive-thru with sweet and sour sauce packets.
Police say an Iowa man attempted to get revenge on his local McDonald's after he was shafted out of sauce for his chicken McNuggets again, but things blew up in his face. Ba-dum-bum. Acadie police arrested Robert Gallwitzer Jr. on Saturday night after he allegedly threatened to blow up the restaurant and punch an employee over missing condiments.
What would Robert Gallwitzer Sr. say?
Would have done more than threatened it, son. Investigators told the station that 42-year-old suspect called the fast food chain after discovering his order was incorrect. After police contacted Gallwitzer, the sauce craving suspect admitted to making the threats.
The sauce craving suspect.
Oh,
Man, I should have been a journalist.
Right? You don't think that dude went home pumped about his job?
wow. Sometimes they just fall on your lap, these news stories.
Boys,
Not over ice cream
you could
machine,
do a
but-
deep dive into that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've had it. You get so mad that you're like,
Oh, yeah.
I want these people to think that they're about to die because I didn't get my sauce.
I didn't get my sweet and
My
sour
sweet and sour sauce.
Fair is fair.
Oh, man.
It's a tough, like, there's something about that whole, like, ordering something.
Well, and
paying
people
for
are wired
something.
differently. Like I get like
It's a razor's edge for people, you know?
I've been upset but still not to the point that I might say anything. But and I'll tell you the difference. I don't know if it's at my parents' own restaurants or something. So I see like a mistake's a mistake, right? So like a couple of weeks ago, I went through a drive-thru, shall remain nameless because of what I'm about to tell you. And I got home and took 2 bites, and it was late at night, to be fair. I think they were 20 minutes from closing, and the lineup was massive, and they're about to close. And it was just one of those evenings where I worked all day, I worked all evening, I haven't eaten yet. I got to get something. I'm probably not the healthiest choice, but I'm going to eat and go to bed.
Well, I know where
You'll
you
be
went.
feeling that.
You'll be feeling that in the morning.
I know where you went.
It's one of 2 things, right? In Miramichi. It's one of 2 things, and it's not the one you think. So,
it's the other one.
which really narrows it down. I took 3 bites of my burger, and guys, like the meat was red, like it was raw. But like I guess I'm wired differently because you know what I did? Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. I gave a little
I know.
piece to the dog, ate my fries, had my drink, and went to bed.
Yep.
Because you know why? It was a mistake.
I know.
They're rushed. They're being slammed. I saw how bad the lineup was. Okay.
Yeah.
But I've also been pretty cranky when the meal is like my meal was correct. It was, you're rushing trying to get these burgers out because you didn't have anything pre-made and the lineup's long and you're about to close. So because you're about to close, you're not pre-making 20 burgers and because you're going to have to throw them out. Like I get all that.
Yeah.
That happens, right? I have been upset with like another restaurant. You know what I mean? Bomb threat and whatever. I'm talking, I'm missing a burger. My kids' fries are missing. There's no sweet and sour sauce in the bag. And then after all this, you go back in. It's like, all right, I got the burger. I got a sweet and sour sauce. You walk back out to the car because you've gone through the drive-thru, and your wife looks at you and goes, there's no straws in these bags either. And then like your second trip in, now it's like you want to like, I was supposed to be gone a half an hour ago. This was supposed to save me time. I've got a place to go. I'm coming from somewhere. I'm on my way somewhere else, which is why I went through the drive-thru and didn't come in and sit. And this is my second trip into your...
Yeah.
Like, it's still just a mistake. But I can see how, depending on how bad of a day you're having.
Yeah.
It might start, like, when you're missing 3 and 4 things and, like...
Yeah. I'm saying I'm accused of being too much of a pacifist that way. Because I always, like, read the whole situation. If it's, like, not busy and it's a huge mistake, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to go talk to them. For one, they're not busy. And 2, like, really just someone doesn't care. So that's fine. I'll go. But like I did that the other night. We took the young lad to first swimming lesson. It was at like 6:15. We got home at 5. They had to get ready for that or whatever. And so just went and got McDonald's quick, whatever. So I went to the McDonald's at the Magnetic Hill. Yeah. The cars in the drive-thru were lined up out on the road. Like it was. The parking
They're
lot
just getting
packed.
Slammed. There's swamped.
Staff flying around because you can do the mobile order now and stuff. There's staff flying around the parking lot with like barely hanging on to drinks and food. And like, it's like I've never seen it. That's a busy spot. I've never seen it that busy. And that's one of those deals like, you know, like you talk to they're just like, whoever's working, they're just like flustered and they're just barely getting through. And like, I just in those situations, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna check the bag quickly, but like I'm gonna go home and like if something's stupid like a straw or they forgot napkins,
I'm sucking it up today.
It's fine. Like I would do much worse. I would have done worse than this.
Like I said to you, like my burger was raw and I couldn't eat it.
Yeah.
I said nothing.
Yeah.
Because of the situation.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
And normally that should have been a bigger deal, but what was I going to do? They're closed.
Yeah.
It's over. I'm home. It's a mistake.
Yeah.
It's a mistake, right? But like I can see the situation of like you're rushed. You're in a hurry. I'm already flustered today. This was supposed to be quicker. And not only am I like there's like 3 mistakes in my bag.
Yeah.
And then I go in, I correct them all, come back out to realize, no, it wasn't 3, it was 4. And
That's
I got to
right.
walk back in again.
And to me,
I'm getting a little, I'm still not saying anything. I just want my straws. But you're probably going to be able to tell from my tone that I'm not happy to be back at the counter again.
Yes.
Just give me my straws. Give me my napkins.
Some of that is on, it's on the customer. Like, I know customer's always right and everyone takes that attitude. But like, if you go into that situation seeing how busy it is and you see it's a bunch of kids.
Yep.
You should look at it and say, I don't know what I'm getting myself into here. I would judge,
set your expectations appropriately.
What's the point? And what's the point, really?
And if you say to yourself, if I get the wrong order, I'm going to be super mad, go somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's an A&W that's hidden in the Petro can just down the street that no one's ever at.
Yeah.
Go get a burger from there. It'll probably be fine. You'll get it quickly, or your order.
They're not as busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people gosh, the people that fly off the handle.
That's what I mean.
Must have never made a mistake in their life.
Well, that's what I mean. There's this there's something about like the way people are where they're like, you know, I've committed to this transaction. I've given you money. You need to give me perfect value. Like, I think it's just people can't stand, you know, giving monetary value and not getting exactly what they expected for it. And I think that just drives some people
Part of me gets
crazy.
it. But
I get that.
But
like,
you didn't pay $800 for your car to get fixed and then it wasn't fixed.
Yeah.
You paid $12 for a combo and they forgot to only put ketchup on your burger.
At a place, it's called fast food.
They're making it
make
very
it
quickly.
very fast. They make it much faster than you can make it at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your dining experience is not the main objective.
Yes,
And like,
exactly.
but go in and get your burger fixed if you can't eat something that's on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need they'll say they're sorry. They'll get you a new one.
Yeah.
It doesn't require a big flip out at the person that, I mean, we're living in some strange times. The person that you're flipping out at that came to work today.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
that's true. Yeah.
Just saying.
I don't know. I
Cut them some
get
slack.
that.
Life's hard right now.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that do not agree with that whole mentality, but
No,
I don't know.
it's-
I don't know. Especially like that McDonald's, it's always young kids that are employed there. So you just kind of, I get, one thing you're going by on the highway, maybe you don't realize that, but like,
Yeah,
I know what I get when I'm going. It's a bunch of kids,
It's the same at home. It's probably 80% teenagers working.
Yeah. It's just, there's stuff that
A couple
they won't
adults trying to
assume,
hold it
they
all
don't
together,
know,
and the rest of them are teenagers. Yeah.
whatever. It's fine.
Sorry, we got all philosophical there, guys, on the
Oh,
customer
yeah.
and
Listen, man, like
employee treatment and all that stuff. Ha ha ha! It's real funny.
yeah. I'm quite proud. I am thrilled to live in a time where we can do a podcast and we can get into the nitty gritty details of fast food ordering because that's such a big part of my life. That's a
And
privilege.
another thing.
I hate fast food ordering. Number one, I tend to haul up, roll down the window, put my elbow on the window, my hand over my mouth, and start trying to order like this. And Heather has to like point out to me that I'm covering my mouth when I'm trying to order.
Oh, Gary, I feel
And
that.
then
I feel
I
that
never
to my
remember
core.
what anybody wants. So I'm always like talking to the person taking the order and talking to the people
Yes,
in the car
man.
at the same time.
Oh,
what was it you
Gary.
wanted?
I know.
No, scratch that. They didn't know. It was
Trisha has to text me. She sits right next to me and has to text me. I have to read it from my
guys.
phone or I will get it wrong.
Then I'll get through everything and I'll be like, did I do it right? Did I miss anything? Was that good? How was my performance?
I am oddly relieved at this moment because it's like there's 4 people in the car and I'm ordering for everybody.
Oh, it's horrible.
Right, and the
you're-
kids get the same thing every time. But I'm doing this whole like did I forget anything, Amanda? What did you want? She gets the same thing every time. Like, what did you want? Like you want number 2. Okay, all right.
What did you want to drink? Is it this Diet Coke the same as the last 100 times, or did you change your mind this time?
Then you get someone who's new, and they ask you a question that's not normally asked, and you're like,
Do you want a big size that? I didn't think of this.
Oh man, I felt like I had Mitch Hedberg flashbacks this week, boys. And I'm in the drive-through line at Subway
again.
in Miramichi,
I would
right?
never
a lot
go
of
to a
stories.
drive-through for a sub. That is too much.
Well, yeah, sometimes like on my lunch hour, it's my quickest route, right? So like, I've been back to work for 3 weeks, and this is just my second time. This isn't like the police fiasco, but but like the lady in front of me, like, let's be real. It takes a little more time to put your sandwich together at Subway than it does to grab a burger from McDonald's, right? So like already be aware of that. But like they're going through the typical questions, like, okay, so do you want that toasted? Okay, well, what kind of cheese? All right, well, what would you like for veggies? Okay, what kind of sauce?
The green one?
Would you like salt and pepper?
The one in the picture?
But I'm listening to this lady in front of me, and I'm having this whole Mitch Hedberg moment of, actually, no, I'm thinking of John Panette is who I'm thinking of. John Panette. And I'm ready, I almost wanted to blare his vocals out of my car. Like, how do you not know what you want on your sandwich? Like, what do you mean? Like, she's humming and hawing over, like, oh, well, I guess not, don't put too many tomatoes. Like, lady, like, I'm like, I get up to that window, I am ready to rock. I came here this week, sausage and egg on a wrap, white cheese, salt and pepper, light mayo. Heck yes, put that on the grill. I gotta go. I got 20 minutes. Done. It's over. Would you like any? No. Nope. I got water in the car. Give me my wrap. Right? But it's like, like every single question, like, what would you like for sauce on that? Do you still have the Mid-Southwestern, what was it there? What? Just put mayo on your sandwich and let's move along. Let's go. I couldn't believe what I was overhearing. Oh my gosh.
I guess that's why I've always avoided the Subway drive-through.
But like usually that doesn't. They're pretty quick up home. Like it's not. along. There could be 3 cars in front of you.
feels
You're
like
out
When I
5
order
minutes.
at Subway, it's usually a lot of pointing. I'll like this, and this.
And to be fair to that, yeah, but you can't do that. You can't do that in the drive-thru.
Exactly.
Right?
I go to the drive-thru. I'd be like, the green one, the purple one, and the darker green one, please.
And you know what? You know what's like that now, though? McDonald's is like that now. Because you go in, you can place your order at the screen, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, all of a sudden I can ask for more seasoning. I can add a patty. Like, what is this? I can get a sausage and egg McMuffin
It's like
and
a
double
build
the
your own
sausage.
adventure book.
Yeah. You can do all this stuff, right? And then you go to the drive-thru and it's like, can I take your order? What would you like today? And then you almost get snooty, like, well, I guess my options are limited out here. I'll get a number 2, I guess.
If you want more seasoning, go to page 55.
Yeah, you want any of the additional stuff? You best come in.
Alternate burger endings. Oh my gosh.
Select this screen and all. 10 more
man.
options open up. Like, I didn't know.
Oh man.
Oh no,
My head
the
hurts.
thought of a drive-through at Subway scares me.
Yeah, I've not been. I even like have it down with science what I say for the
Yeah.
sub, but I'm not. I'm too scared to tackle it.
Oh, that
a lot
doesn't
of
bother me,
questions.
but like, I couldn't believe, like,
And then like people screwing things up in the drive-through. It's like I always go to the end. Okay, let's check the bag. And then if something's missing, it's like, okay, was it my fault or their fault?
yeah. And that's fair. My other one
Did
is
I
not,
set you up for success?
and I've seen this too, but like at the Tim's line, I've seen someone order like multiple lunches. And it's like at the Tim's drive-thru, it's like you can see like 5 sandwiches come out the window
5
and a
different
bowl of
orders.
soup and all this stuff. In the meantime, not just me, but the 5 cars behind me are like, coffee.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. I'm on a break and I'm here to get a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I used to work at Douglastown Auto Parts, it would be one guy going for the coffee run.
Yeah.
And
You'd be
even if you
ordering
do
like 20 coffees and donuts.
even multiple coffees, I don't have a problem with. It's like
No, yeah,
it's when
whatever.
a bundle of like sandwiches.
And here's the thing. They serve that stuff.
Yes, I get it.
But
Yep.
maybe you could have went in.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the people that all went in are in less of a hurry than the people that didn't get out of their cars and are trying to.
Because for everything we just talked about, you did that with 5 people you barely know.
Yeah.
You ordered 5. I guarantee you 3 of those were super specific.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and you were willing to tackle that in the drive-through. Like, I don't know.
Congrats, comrade.
To be fair, we used to do that to Cameron in the white van. 4 and 5 different orders.
As weird and specific as you can make
Oh
it.
yeah, and he was on his own. Like, Cameron, can you get us this, and this? Yeah, who's coming with me? What do you mean? Here's $20. We're still playing Perfect Dark. You go get our supper. Stupid rave. Go get us the 2 for $2.42.
Two first.
2 for
Oh, the 2-4s were where it was at back then.
Where's your 14?
The 2-4s and a trip to Blockbuster, and
Yeah.
kids today, they don't know.
I don't even know.
13 McDoubles, sir.
That's fantastic.
There's a new trend at school. It is a constant state now of, and the office doesn't know what they're going to do. Kids coming down, sneaking out of class just 5 minutes before lunch to meet the McDelivery guy outside.
What?
Uber Eats, McDelivery, skip the dishes, and there'll be 5 or 6 guys outside in the parking
They
lot
go out
dropping
and meet
lunches
them?
off now. Well, they don't want to eat the cafeteria. You only have 50 minutes. If you skip across the bridge and try to go to McDonald's, you're pushing it to get back in time. They're having it all dropped off at the school. They're walking in with these massive bags of McDonald's, and
We used to sneak out 5 minutes early, but it was to get to the front of the line at the cafeteria.
yeah.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, there was no nutrition
Wow.
policies back then. I remember $3.65. You got a big plate of fries. You got 6 nuggets. You got a pudding or a Jello snack and a chocolate milk.
Nuggets
Yeah.
had the thickest breading on them.
$3
crunchiest.
$3.65.
You
Why would
guys
you
are-
leave?
Yeah. You guys are a little further ahead in this, and then I've only heard bits and pieces about what lunch menus are at school now. And I totally understand why my parents were so out of touch. Because by the time it gets to be your turn, everything's different. Because I still picture lunches as being that.
And they're not.
Poutine,
They're not.
nuggets with 5 inches of batter on them.
No, now it's all pre-approved, like You can make fries, but it's cooked in this oil and all this different stuff for
Like,
nutrition.
I can't even wrap my head around it.
But it's the worst idea
had
ever because
pizza.
you know what's happened in high schools is you bring in this nutrition policy, but they all have their license. So it's like if I can't eat bad here and the school get a kickback from it, then I'm going to go eat over there.
Get it somewhere else.
So they're walking to the Donaire shop, they're going to the Irving, they're going to Tim Hortons, they're driving across to Macdonald's. Like, I'm out of here then.
No one's eating lunch in school.
Oh, no, they're not.
Wow.
Oh, man.
All right, thanks everybody for listening, and
Get well soon, Cameron.
will dine on honeydew.
I forgot I was in there too.
oh wow. Stay safe, everybody, and
Get well soon, Cam. Start
get well, Cam.
Start spreading rumors. I hope that clears up real fast. I hope the ointment that you got works for that.
Yeah, just
There's
make
no
sure you keep
procedure
taking.
necessary.
No, just make sure you keep taking those antibiotics, buddy.
Yeah.
That'll clear right up.
Get that skunk spray acid off of your face.
Yeah.
Called me a Canadian sweater.
Feels like we're eulogizing him.
I was just going to say, he's not dead. We should be clear. Cameron has not died.
You remember when?
Oh, I missed that about Cameron.
It's true. I'll edit them into the logo and everything.
You just wasted some of your life listening to the Bush League podcast. You must stop what you're doing right now. Like and subscribe and leave a 5-star rating. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and like us on Facebook.